So, of course, go figure that as soon as we end the live, the document comes out from the Indiana Supreme Court. So, let's get into it.
All right, how long were we done, Sunny?
Pardon?
How long were we done? I think we talked a few minutes backstage, so 5 minutes maybe?
5 minutes? Come on now. I guess they
And here we
wanted us to
go.
start a new stream. I had a gut feeling that this might happen because they were like, because of what the comments were. So it didn't shock me that this is happening. Anyways, go ahead, Adam.
Well, let's read it. Okay, well, so this reads, published order. The realtor, Richard Allen, seeks relief from this court under the rules of procedure for original action. Realtor has requested a permanent writ of mandamus, asking the court to 1, order the trial court to reinstate his former trial counsel, attorneys Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rozzi, as his court-appointed counsel. 2, order the trial court to commence Realtor's trial within 70 days from the issue of this writ. And 3, remove the special judge from the Realtor's case and appoint a new special judge. Having considered the written submissions and having heard the arguments of counsel, a majority of the court votes to grant the petition for writ as to the Realtor's request to reinstate attorneys Baldwin and Rozzi as his court-appointed counsel. The court unanimously denies all other relief sought. The court will promptly issue a written opinion explaining its reasons. The pendency of this matter in this court does not stay the proceedings in the trial court. Done, and then stated and signed. So yeah, there you have it. Baldwin, I think Sunny and I both were saying that was after watching the oral arguments today. That was both of our feelings, was that, Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rozzi stood a very good chance of being reinstated, and that Gull wasn't going anywhere, and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
and
Thanksgiving will be awkward.
I was going to say, because even when you were listening to Mark Lopez, he goes, I just can't see it because, one of the things that didn't come out of my mouth that I was going to say when Travis was on was, to me, this is about professionalism, in a sense. And so to me, I don't think that Judge Franco is going to be like, oh, I hate you guys. I don't want you. Like I was, I get it that it is a bit awkward, but I was thinking to myself, the Supreme Court is going to look at this like, no, this is the judge.
Right.
She's professional in what she does. These are now the lawyers back on the case.
Right.
And let's get back to business. And
almost like they're going to need to sit down and Gull's going to need to say, so when you say this, what you make me feel is this.
Right.
And then, Andrew Baldwin's going to have to say, well, when you say this, what I hear is this. And what I feel like you mean towards me is this. And that, they're going to have to focus on, maybe redefining the perimeters of their, of how they communicate.
Mm-hmm. Well, exactly. And that's just it because, again, I don't know if it was the defense lawyers or other people going, well, so if Fran Gull says something that, that they're going to think that they're getting picked on, meaning, Rozzi and Baldwin, and, if they would butt heads that way. So I think it's kind of one of those little bit of 50-50 things in a sense where it's like Rozzi and Baldwin are back, right? Will be the counsel, but Judge Gull stays. And Supreme Court, I don't think that they had this written up already. They might have, but they may write what up. But I mean, it's kind of short and brief. I just think by everything that was felt today, that we knew that this was going to happen.
Right. I said all along that I would support whatever the Supreme Court decided. Going into the oral arguments this morning, I was not as confident that Baldwin and Rozzi would get reinstated. After the hearing, I said immediately that I felt much more confident that they would get reinstated. I never thought that Gull would be removed. But the thing now that I'm interested in, because the court denied the removing Gull or setting the 70-day speedy trial thing. Now that Rozzi and Baldwin are going to be reinstated, how funny or ironic would it be if they did not file for a speedy trial?
Oh, right.
I'm just
speedy trial.
if I don't see that motion for a speedy trial come out immediately,
Yeah.
that'll be interesting.
I think it's time to get this show on the road now.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what is 70 days from now is what? Easter?
Right.
April?
Right, that's 2 months, 10 days. So we're in January. Yeah, February, March. So yeah, March, April. Yeah, right in the near the beginning, first couple weeks of April there.
70 days from tomorrow.
Well, so hold on. No, at the end of March.
March 29th, 70 days from tomorrow.
Yeah. Ivy, I sent you the link if you did want to come back up and have anything to say. Since you were joining us, I don't believe Travis is around, but hey, Travis. Hey, Travis.
Well, they also now have to deal with, because remember, is it Baldwin or Rozzi that has is involved in a new murder trial now?
Oh, really?
So I'm wondering when the scheduling of that is, because is that going to conflict now? One of them took a new client, and it's a murder trial.
Well, maybe they'll pass it off now to one of their other ones.
They might. But
yeah, do you think it was Baldwin or Rozzi?
I can't remember, to be honest. I think it was Rozzi. Now that I think about it, it was a female defendant. I'm sure someone in the chat knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So what happens then with that motion to move? Well, be from the other attorneys.
So will they just will they file to withdraw now, or?
And then
I know they're. Well, they're reinstated, so I guess the other ones have to technically then file for withdrawal.
I was gonna say.
I hope it's celibate.
They probably. I wonder what they will do. Because Richard Allen is even more further away from them. So I wonder if they will ask for him to be put in, a county jail. There's Ivy.
Right, and if you remember the Scrimmin and Librado, they requested that he be moved to Allen County Jail or Adams County. So, even I would assume that Rozzi and Baldwin, they're not going to request. I mean, they would probably file their own motion to have him moved again, because I don't think either one of them want him to be at Allen County or Adams County, because it's not as convenient for them.
Yeah. Hi, Ivy.
Hi. Sorry, I had trouble getting on, but I'm here now.
Oh, did you? Okay. So, what do you think? What do you think, Ivy?
I feel, not gonna lie, I feel a little vindicated because I have gotten a lot of shit about my opinion on the Rozzi and Baldwin thing, and nobody here, yes, but other places, I don't know how many times people have talked to me like I'm this crazy Richard Allen supporter, and anything that you go for, and if you were saying no, she handled that wrong, and there's a constitutional rights issue here, then all of a sudden you're ignoring the justice for Abby and Libby and supporting Richard Allen, and it drives me crazy. But so I feel a little vindicated, to be honest.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Same as when people because I mean, I try to separate my personal feelings, which I tell people my personal feelings, but I try to separate them from my personal feelings to my opinions on what I think can happen in a case. And the same thing as I think when you talk about the I've said all along, I didn't think Gull was going to be removed, and people are like, oh, but what she did was this and this and this and this, and it's so you're attacked on that.
Yeah,
I'm I'm just going.
You're just shilling for the prosecution and the state. You're part of the conspiracy.
Right. I'm not on the payroll of the prosecution. I'm not working for Nick McClelland anymore. Kidding. Yeah, I just I think this is going to be a very interesting road to travel now with, and I hope that everyone can just be professional and move on. That it's a reset.
And it wasn't all the way one way or all the way the other. So I know the Supreme Court doesn't compromise, but it's kind of like a compromise in a way.
Yeah, the Supreme Court. I mean, I was very impressed with those justices.
And about what you said earlier, I don't think there will be a speedy trial. Like, I'll be kind of surprised if there is a speedy trial motion.
Well, I mean, I kind of joked about that prior because they were like, oh, but we were going to file it on the 1st, and they may have been. I'm not, but so now that they are going to be given the opportunity to, it'll be interesting to see if they do.
I don't think they will, but if somebody pushed them on them, I can imagine them saying, well,
but they've been so adamant about wanting to, that we wanted a speedy trial. We wanted to go to trial in January. Well, now you're going to be given the opportunity to do it within 7 days. So are you going to take it?
I bet they argue that this gave time for the prosecution to be more prepared than they would have been, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's either way, it's a bunch of bullshit, to be completely honest.
I hope it's not just this more tit for tat thing that, we'll get, of course, some of that, but because that's just how lawyers are gonna play things in filings. But I was just more curious about if like Baldwin and Rozzi's schedules have been are going to have to be taken into consideration in a way. And that probably could be, one reason they say we're not going to ask for speedy trial is now,
So did he not have that murder trial before? Is that a new one?
I believe that this was something he took on right after.
Okay. And you guys, criminalities here. She's joining us, Ivy, Teresa.
Hi, guys.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm exhausted. I'm trying to pick up kids from school. Why is this happening already?
Are you new?
Yes.
I know.
Everything happens in Delphi in either 6-month increments or all in one day.
All at once. It's like that. Just deal with it all at once.
I don't know how many times too that Teresa. I don't know how many times me and Adam have stopped. Been on a live for quite a while, like today, 5 hours and 48 minutes. Yeah, and then all of a sudden we get off, and next thing you know, poof, the decision's in. And so
and had I opened my messenger sooner, I would have already known it. But I didn't, and as soon as I opened it, I called Sonny. I was like, "Hey, guess what?"
I was talking to my husband. Husband, can you go on hold for a sec, please?
I never even peed.
You didn't?
No.
Oh man, that was the first thing I did, and then I made some nachos for lunch, and then I had to get in the car, and then I saw you guys were live, and I was like, yes. Like I gotta hear about. I gotta talk. I gotta know. I gotta do stuff. Like this is crazy. I know. I was like 5 hours earlier today. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm just like maybe tomorrow.
Right. Because we were just about to do another one for tonight. To go over the 4 charges of murder, and then the 2 kidnapping and stuff like that with Travis again tonight and different things. But anyways, and then this happened. But I'm so glad that you were able to come join us. And what's your thoughts?
Thank you.
What's your thoughts? Go ahead.
So I listened to it twice today on the channel. So we listened to it when it played, and then I had to go back and listen to it again because I that's just how I kind of have to process things. I have to do it multiple times. Yeah. So we went back and listened to it again, like on slow. And so after the second one, I was like, okay, this is what I think. I think that the attorneys are going to be brought back on, but I think Gold's going to stay. And then lo and behold, that is what happened. So I think that the written opinion that comes out is probably going to be more clarity on what the next things are, because I think now that they are reinstated, they can go back in and file for her to be removed, or she can go ahead, I guess, now and hold a hearing. I mean, we're not going to know what's going to happen until we actually get like the written opinion on why they made the decisions the way they did.
So when it says the court unanimously denies all other relief sought, so I don't exactly know what that means. I just took that as okay. Well, we're not. You know what? We're not dealing with the removal of Fran Gold. We're
Exactly. They're denying the removal of Fran Gold, and they're denying ordering a trial within 70 days of the reinstatement. And most of that's going to be because they don't need to do that. That can all be done at the trial level. And now that they're reinstated, they can file for the 70 days all on their own. They don't need the Supreme Court to do that.
Right.
And then the removal of Judge Gohl, I kind of was feeling like it was going to go hand in hand, but I don't know. I really don't know now whether she'll end up recusing herself.
Right.
If they'll file to have her removed, or if she's going to hold those are like the three things, or she's going to hold a hearing to actually try to find them grossly.
I think they'll just play nice for a while and just try to continue on.
The only problem I have with that is the perception of bias. How will she ever rule on any motion from either side without it becoming something that it doesn't necessarily mean that it really is, but that it's perceived to be,
Yeah, and Travis was on here earlier with us, and he said that, I guess kind of surprisingly to the public, that a lot of times in cases like this, it's not as awkward as you would imagine once you go back.
Really?
I don't know if that's true in this situation, but like I would like throw up with cringy, awkward feeling if I was there. But he said
I kind of wanted to throw up with cringy, awkward feeling just at the Supreme Court hearing today.
Yes, so I don't know. Maybe they'll be professional and just continue on, but you know how the public is.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think then?
Go on. I'm sorry. I was just trying to send Docket the thing.
Oh, what do I think on what I just said?
Yeah, like what do you think is going to happen? You think they're just going to play nice?
I wonder if that's what's going to happen. I don't have a strong opinion about it, but if that's where my opinion's tipping to that side, I don't think they'll go straight back and just continue on with the disqualification motion. I think in order it will be play nice, most likely. Second most likely is Gohl recusing, but I don't really think she'll do that. I think she's got too much, as I think it's Charmaine who says it, like Queen Bee vibes with her to do that. And then I think third is probably them continuing with the disqualification motion to get her taken off. What do you think? If you had to put them in order, how would you put them?
Oh, it's tough. I feel like we're going to probably have a better answer once we get why the Supreme Court ruled the way that they did.
Right.
It's so tough because I mean, it could go so many directions. I've always thought that she was setting up herself to be able to recuse with the whole weird like health issue. And not to say that she didn't have a health issue, but just that like it became public knowledge 3 weeks after she was in the hospital. So like that was kind of interesting. Like was she setting up an ability to recuse, and now she's got this other paper pushing job that maybe she'll just have too much on her plate.
I know. I wouldn't be shocked if we see her recuse herself from the case, to be honest. I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens, but I'm not really shocked with anything, to be honest. This was an unexpected pleasure to be able to get the Supreme Court decision already this fast. I had a feeling it was probably going to come out like tomorrow or the next day, but anyways, how fast do you think? You think we'll see it tomorrow or later on today? The reasons.
It's going to take a little bit longer to write, I think, because they'll have to go through like each of the things on why they denied each one. So I think that might take a little longer.
Yeah.
So I mean, Aspen's like she's not going to recuse herself. I know she's just so damn stubborn. Like she just is. She really does have that personality. Like I'm not going to let this go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Will it be where then she decides that she's going to just hold that one justice was just very firm on like setting it all back in time the way that it should have been done, and then letting her have like a hearing to determine like the gross negligence. So then I'm like, is it going to go back and that's what's going to happen? I don't see how she could hold that hearing though. There's just no way. I just cannot imagine that happening, because if she does and then she rules that they're grossly negligent or incompetent,
I don't think that they will. That's why I think they'll play nice, because if Rozzi and Baldwin go back and do the disqualification motion, if they continue down that road, it looks kind of bad. And then if she goes back and then makes them do a hearing over that looks even worse. So I think they're both just going to cut their loss on those two things and be good for a while, and hopefully nothing else will come up.
Well, the chat. What do you think? I mean, I'm. It would be nice to see, like I said, what their written opinion and stuff like that, and why.
I
don't know.
totally.
I'm kind of. I can. I mean, I kind of have it in my head that it's probably going to go with Fran Gull and whatever. But I don't know. It's just all weird to me, to be honest. In a sense, like I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. You know. Because I take, like Teresa, Fran Gull, she's like a bull to me. You know, like I would be like, I'm kind of one of those ones that would be stubborn too if I felt like whatever. But I mean, in this case, obviously, you know, she was in the wrong, and that's hence why they were reinstated. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What does chat think? Go ahead.
Baldwin will get away with his skinky behavior.
So
What'd you say?
I mean, so will we just now get the will we now get the October 19th evidentiary hearing that we all were waiting for? We just won't get it until February.
That's why we were talking. Like, I don't know how she could do that without there just throwing out there a perception of absolute bias. I mean, even the Supreme Court today said, I mean, the Rush was saying that the press release was prior to the gag order. The stuff where she basically accused them of lying about Richard Allen's conditions ultimately ended up being true. And I mean, she doesn't say it that way, but she's like, you know, she says it's somewhat false, which means it's also somewhat true. And now you have the new attorneys essentially saying the same thing. So they can't use that. So then she's left with the email to Brandon Woodhouse and the crime scene photos. Well, the crime scene photos, they have somebody who's charged.
Right. Which now has apparently a trial set for, I'm sorry, Lisa.
Oh, you're good. No, go ahead.
I think I've not seen a date. All I've heard was that, you know, they are going to set the trial date. It's going to be a month or two from now.
Yeah, I think I heard March 6th.
March what?
6th, I think is what I was told. Excellent.
Thank you. I've not gotten a chance to follow up on that.
Yeah, somebody said it in the chat earlier, so don't quote me on it. Just that's what I think.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm like, so you really aren't going to be able to even use that one because you have somebody who's being charged in the state for taking them unlawfully, even though it's a weird charge. It's still the same concept. So what you're left with then is Baldwin accidentally sending the Discovery thumb drive map to Woodhouse versus Rozzi. I don't know. Is that enough to say that it's grossly negligent?
I mean, it's one of those things where, like, what is that definition? And I just don't think it rises to that.
I agree with you.
Right. I personally wouldn't be surprised if we now see, you know, all the parties involved playing nice for their own self-interest.
That's what I think.
Because I don't think that Gull's going to recuse herself. I think that this has always been the case of each one of these parties' lifetimes. This is the case of Judge Gull's career. This is the case of Baldwin and Rozzi's career. This is the case of Nick McClelland's career. It's the reason that everyone wants to be on this case. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a self-serving case that can propel them to whatever next stage of their careers any one of them want to be at. And I'm not saying that I'm not even saying that as a negative thing. You know, I mean, everyone goes into the business they go into to grow and to achieve, you know, the next level of professional, you know, the professionalism that they can. For Gull, it's going to be she wants to be exactly on the seat that we saw today. She wants to be on that Supreme Court. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nick McClelland run to be a judge in the next couple of years. I think Andrew Baldwin and Brad Rozzi, this is going to be a career-defining case for them because it can put them to that Jose Baez level. It can put them to that Mark Garagos level, and that's going to be hugely profitable. And I don't think there's anything wrong with any of that. And I think it's going to be why none of them are going to want to leave this case voluntarily.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So do you think that Baldwin and Rozzi will come back in with the idea that they're going to file for her to be removed?
I think they'll try. I think they will try, and I think she probably will get her and be like, okay, well, let's have that. You know, let's get into the whole like leak of it all. But I hope not. Like, I hope that they all just are kind of like, okay, let's
get on.
Let's move on, and let's actually do what we've said we're doing all along, and that's to move this case forward and get justice. You know, for the prosecution, it's for Libby and Abby. For the defense, it's for, you know, their client as well. Because it's in everyone's best interest that this case move along as quickly as possible. No one's ever disputed that, I don't think. I mean, I think if I'm Richard Allen, I want to go to trial as soon as possible. If I'm the families of Libby and Abby, I want this to go to trial as soon as possible.
Agreed. You guys, were Abby and Libby's family at the Supreme Courthouse today?
They were. Yeah. Becky, Mike, and Tara were there.
Yeah.
Anna wasn't?
I don't know. Frank Meister, who was in court, he said he was sitting behind Becky, Mike, and Tara. He didn't mention Anna.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said that Murder Sheet were there. Barbara McDonald was there. I think Bob was there. But he said the majority of the people that were there, you know, they didn't actually have to end up using the lottery system. They just let the first however many people that were in there, because they didn't have so many people that they had to pick and choose.
Right. Nobody got denied, I guess.
Yeah, because I think most of the people that went had press passes.
Oh.
You know, like Murder Sheet were in the press box, or the press, which I wasn't sure whether the press had a separate area or not, but apparently they did.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I didn't think that they were actually doing anything special for the quote-unquote media this time around, but I didn't know.
And same with Barbara McDonald, which makes me wonder if Barbara McDonald is working on a new project, because I'm not sure that she was there in the capacity of Court TV.
What was it that Gull said in that email about, like, YouTuber type people having the pictures? What did she call them?
No, we're not journalists.
Yes. So apparently Murder Sheet, they're real journalists, but the YouTuber people who were there.
Well, that's not true though, because she actually said Murder Sheet wasn't either.
Oh, I mean, because I was just making a bad joke, because apparently Murder Sheet was there as, like, with the press pass.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Shibby, I'll have to think about what I'm going to refer to them now as. I'm thinking possibly rekindled defense.
Oh, that's nice.
But I'm not sure.
Original.
I like rekindled.
I was like, well, but they were here, they were gone, and then
okay.
And then, so I mean, and then I think Scrimmon and Labrato were just going to be the rebound defense.
Like a bad act.
Poor guys, what do you think they're thinking today? They're just like, what the what?
I feel bad for them.
And they probably called Baldwin or Rozzi, because they want the notoriety of this case as well. So I mean, they probably called Baldwin or Rozzi, and they're probably on the phone now being like, hey.
Well,
hey.
I mean, fairness,
we did the same thing you guys wanted to do. Want us on your team?
Or maybe they were glad and feel like they dodged a bullet with this case.
Right. I feel like they got their 15 minutes of fame. They'll make it into the whole scenario of the storyline that this happened, then they were replaced and these people came in, but now they're reinstated. They got their 15 minutes of fame. I kind of wonder that myself. Do they feel a little bit like, whew, because this is a monumental case.
Attorneys like the adrenaline of all of this, and nothing is more adrenaline filled than being put on a worldwide stage in your profession. And I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about attorneys, but I mean, attorneys, they like to hear themselves talk, which is part of why they do what they do.
Yeah.
And they like the opinions that they have. So I think this criminal Liberato would love to be front and center in this case if given the opportunity.
That's one thing
You
that
know-
annoyed me. People kept saying like, "Oh well, Rozzi and Baldwin, the only reason they want to stay on is to get a book deal." I'm like, no, that is not. That's like down the list, even if that's a thing. They want to go argue in like one of the biggest cases in the country.
Yeah. Because I mean, think what it would do for their career. I'm sorry, Sonny.
No, I just really want to see Rozzi do another dance down the hallway.
Where's this dance I keep hearing about?
Oh, was it?
You haven't seen it?
No.
It was for charity. I put it in our group chat once, Ivy.
Well,
I
I've been
haven't-
like burnt out for the last like month and a half and haven't really been keeping up with anything.
That's always your
I
excuse.
have it
Ivy.
on a
I
short.
don't want.
But it's a good excuse. It happens to the
That's
best.
why I
of
don't have a channel. Actually, one of the main
It's
reasons.
exhausting, to be honest.
Ivy,
with you.
I have a channel. I haven't posted a video in like 6 months.
It's exactly.
That's not true. You posted a video on December 27th.
I posted a tribute video. I did.
Very specific. I guess
Let
that's
me-
Libby's birthday, isn't it?
Let me
Why,
show
yeah.
And then I made it private and I sent it to the families.
Hold on, let me show the dance. Okay. Let's go. And then I put it in reverse.
Okay. I do kind of like that. Not gonna lie.
I love it.
I love it.
He's done a lot of work for that shit.
You gotta put the dance to the Supreme Court thing now. Put that in his hand.
You know, that's what I'm saying. I want to see another dance.
Right there. Put the Supreme Court order in his hand.
That would be
Anyways, that I personally love that sense of humor that Rozzi has like that.
Well, now, I mean, it's going to be so interesting because, you know, they're the ones who wanted cameras in the courtroom. So is she going to allow cameras in the courtroom for the trial? Are they going to go? Are they going to go right in and they say, okay, you know, we want this Frank's hearing done right now? Are they going to file? You know, here we're ready for a speedy trial. I mean, like so much stuff could happen here so quickly.
I have a question for you since you're here. So about the cameras, what is your opinion on how she allowed cameras in that one hearing where she knew what was going to happen? She knew either they were going to go out, they're going to leave and withdraw, or she was going to, you know,
Publicly
basically
shame
out them
them.
all, shame them in public. And then after that, she made a deal about some sort of like somebody wasn't following the rules, even though cameras were allowed. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was something that seems small. And it almost sounded like, she didn't say this, but I got the vibe that she may use that in the future to say, no, we can't have cameras because they didn't follow the rules.
Correct.
So it almost seemed like I don't know, planned
So,
to like.
from my understanding, there was something with the order that the cameras could start rolling a half hour before the hearing. Well, what ended up happening was they were late for the hearing, so the cameras were rolling for like a long time.
How could they know it was going to be late? You can't know the future.
Right. So this is, and like, take this for what you want, because this is just my interpretation of my information I've gotten. I have nothing that I can show you that says this. So this is just how I understand it. So they were recording this whole time, and then what they ended up putting out there was when Brad Rozzi goes out and gets Kathy Allen, and you could see him like kind of stomping and being like all pissed off. And so she said by the news putting that out there, it proves that they were filming at a time they weren't supposed to be filming.
Right.
But
And
was
so
it,
she
was
used
it,
that
was it
against
30
them.
minutes? So was it 30 minutes before the scheduled time?
That's my understanding of it. And like I said, somebody who maybe understands the documentation a little bit better may have a different understanding. But so if it was supposed to start at 2, they started filming at 1:30, and then all hell breaks loose.
I really hope he doesn't use that, or at least get a system like the Supreme Court has and just do your own. Like, I don't know.
So, you know, with like the Idaho case and with the Chad Daybell case, what they're doing now, it's more like how they did with like Letitia Stout, where it's court cameras. There is no outside media. The judge ultimately will have control over the camera system. And I mean, not necessarily working the cameras, but has more control over it and hands-on. and then the media won't be able to like zoom in on the perpetrator or cause all these other issues. So I'm wondering.
That's how it should be.
Right. And so the other thing is that Indiana only started allowing cameras in the courtroom at the beginning of last year. It was brand new.
She was one of them.
Yeah.
So my personal opinion is I think that she did it on purpose, but that's my thing. I know not everybody agrees, but I think that she really wanted to make sure that they knew, because she was like, we'll go out there in front of the cameras in the courtroom and all these people. I think she knew what she was doing. I think she was pissed. I think she was mad that all of this was happening, and she was pissed at them and wanted them to know she was pissed.
I said this in the first of earlier after we were talking about it in the previous live stream. One of my favorite parts of the oral arguments, or whatever you want to call them, was when one of the judges, I want to say it might have been the head judge, was basically like, so is that insubordination or is that ineffectiveness? Yeah. There's a difference. And I think like the reason she was so mad is because it was insubordination. That's why it pissed her off so much. Whether she realized that at the time is another question, but emotionally, I think that's what it is.
I think you were the first one I saw that picked up on that, and I was thinking it, but you said it, and I thought that was a very smart distinguishable thing that they said was the insubordination versus ineffective.
I feel like you could almost take like those few words and just that explains like almost the entire situation in a way. Mm-hmm. Or argument, maybe not the situation. Side note, Aspen, I am sad to inform you that my mom went to Canada. I specifically asked her if she could get me some chips and smuggle them home because I'd never had any.
Did they take them at the border?
Them, and no, they didn't. But I tasted them and I was like, I don't know. I had a few, put them in the cabinet, totally forgot about them. And I did not realize chips could do this, but they got all like moldy and mushy. It was gross.
Oh.
I wasted a bunch of ketchup chips.
So you didn't like ketchup chips, Ivy?
I was in the middle. My boyfriend did not like them at all. But I thought
it's funny. I have heard that they are Baldwin and Rozzi's favorite chips.
Oh.
Seriously?
I may have to judge their characters now.
Well,
no, only Goal likes them.
Well,
maybe they can all like them and they can share a bag and then everybody will be happy and live happily ever after.
It's such a weird taste.
He said that's what needs to happen. Someone needs to bring a bag of ketchup chips to the next hearing, and they will sit down and share. They will all find common ground over their love of ketchup chips.
Do you think that they could hold up a Canadian flag while they're at it?
And then Richard Allen will eat the bag. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Richard Allen.
I'm kidding.
Well, I don't know. People take things seriously. You better watch what you say, bud.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, shoot. Well, what does tomorrow bring with this craziness?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here?
Well, you know what? It's almost like spin the wheel. Do you think, you guys, that there's a poll that just came out? I just put out basically. Do you think that Fran Gall will remain on the case regardless? So my question basically is this, because you can only type so many words. Do you think that it will end up being that Fran Gall remains on the case and that they just move along? Or do you think that the defense will opt to have a motion to remove Fran Gall because of whatever?
Just don't know. There's so many possibilities, and I don't know where their headspace is now. Maybe now that, what do they say, like cooler heads prevail, that they can be like, okay, like let's just deal with this and just do what we need to do, get the trial done, go our separate ways, and reminds me of Wrong Night aspect.
It is a little awkward because you have the judge that sits there and says that they were incompetent, they were this, they were that. Then it's like, oh, glad to see you guys back here.
I don't know what you do. What do you do now?
It's been a minute.
I just called you guys grossly incompetent, negligent, and going to be ineffective counsel.
It's like
how you guys doing today?
Conference after the divorce is finalized.
Yeah.
You guys just made me remember one of the notes I wrote down from I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of the guy not the AG, but the whatever his name is for Gull. He
Goodwin
called
or
them
whatever?
highly
Garcia?
competent attorneys.
Yes, he sure did.
Like what? Did you guys
Yeah, he
notice
says
that?
they were doing all this lawyering and being like highly competent attorneys.
Yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute.
You can't even make up your mind whether
Right.
they're incompetent or not.
Or not.
Didn't
Yeah.
he say in some regard or in some instance? I liked the caveat he threw on the end of it. So at one point when he said
Did he
that,
say
he was
that?
like,
A little shade to go with it.
I'd have to go back.
well, he was like, oh, but it was almost like he like thought after the fact. He was like, I mean, in some ways they're good. But I mean, I honestly, I said that earlier. I said I don't think Mark did a great job, especially at first. I thought Mark started out really sloppy. He got better.
Yeah.
I don't think either of the attorneys that spoke for Gull did a great job at
Agreed.
all. And I was the only thing I was super impressed with was the fairness and the preparedness of the judges.
Yes,
It's
I
crazy
totally
how
agree with
fast.
you.
Especially Rush over there, right? Go ahead, Ivy.
I was
Sorry.
just like, it's crazy how fast an hour goes by.
Yeah, when I watched it the second time, I thought it went a lot smoother because I wasn't so all over the place emotionally with it, and then I could also stop it, listen to what they said, rewind it if I needed to, and then I was like, okay, now this makes more sense, and I thought they all did somewhat better, but I have to hop off to go get my little one from class, but I have to ask this question. The guy would not stop talking about freaking wheat.
But wheat.
Sweet.
He's like, move past wheat. Let's find me something else. He's like, but wheat. But wheat.
I know. And then she says, so can you basically stop talking about wheat? You know, is there anything outside of that scope? And then he goes,
Well, not really.
But wheat.
Right. Right, because which like I said, that showed there really was so little precedent about what they were talking
he
about.
couldn't use anything
But-
else.
But wheat. I gotta talk about wheat.
All right.
So, all right, you guys, thank you for letting me come up here and go through all of this with you guys. I appreciate it.
Hey,
Always a
Teresa, what are you
pleasure,
doing
Teresa.
later?
Are you doing
I don't
the
know.
live later?
I don't know.
We might do a live later at 10 o'clock or 7 o'clock your time tonight about the new charges.
Yeah, Travis will
If
be
you're
on.
interested.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll be watching that one. I went over the new charges a little bit, but
Yeah.
then I went back, and then we went back to the hearing. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
I'm
if you want
tired.
to talk to Travis, we'll be
YOLO.
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, thank you, girl. Take
Thank
care.
you. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
And I'm
now
way
we're-
behind, but I do want to say
Oh,
I saw
Captain.
Captain Howdy in the chat, and I want to say,
Yeah,
hey,
Captain Howdy.
Captain
Oh.
Look at
Hey,
Hal.
Cap.
Pardon?
I'm like 30 minutes behind, but
What'd you say, Missy?
Me? Oh, I said I need to clean my microphone on my phone. I just said, hey, Cap.
Oh.
To the captain in the chat.
Maybe if somebody can look and see if the opinions are out yet. They probably had that one typed up too. No.
yeah, they'll go off. They'll come out as soon as we get off this live.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
wouldn't be surprised if they had a lot of it written beforehand, even.
Because he already kind of knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they even took it to Supreme Court and they, let them come out of the oral argument. I think that said a lot, regardless, to be honest with you. Obviously they felt like that it needed to be, like I said, to show the no bias between, say, the judge state side versus defense, because this is such a huge case. So I'm sure that they all came with already knowing what their vote was going to be, in a sense, or their opinions. But of course, they have to show the public the due process of it all. And like I said, I mean, I'm happy with whatever the Supreme Court decides here. If Fran Gull stays or if she gets removed, so be it. I'm hoping that I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that it just kind of moves on to a new course. It's like, okay, group hug. Let's go. Come on. Give me a hug, Rozzi and Baldwin. I apologize for my, lack of judgment and evidentiary hearing and blah 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 blah. Overstepping my bounds to you both. Call a truce. Have a good day. Let's go.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping that it kind of goes that way.
Same.
One other thing that kind of annoys me, and probably on both sides, is like I don't know how many people I heard talk about like basically the worthless attorneys of Rozzi and Baldwin, how bad of an attorneys they are, and then on the other side, like how terrible Goal was. When in reality, all of these people, all three of them, none of them are in the beginning of their career. They're all like matured into their career, have good reputations, and
Right.
good work to back them up. This is one like little blip in their career, even though it's a big case. So
Absolutely.
like they're all competent people. They can do the job, all three of them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no, we're not taking phone calls. Mark, if you wanted to pop on for a second to say some your thoughts, feel free. We will be doing another live tonight again with Travis and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Mark, you don't have to show your face. You can always just pop on, which is the same as a phone call.
Yeah. Oh, you're allowed to show your butt crack if you want. Not right now.
Well, no, you're not allowed to do that, actually.
Yeah. So should we? Gall's lawyer said Baldwin and Rozzi were very competent and experienced lawyers, and then said that they should be removed for incompetence. I think Adam was saying that there was a little bit of shade at the end when he said that.
I can't remember the exact wording of it, but and maybe I imagined it, but I
in
felt
most
like
cases,
no
I'm like in
caveat.
most cases, yeah. Too much pride. Look at Charmaine. Charmaine's too busy working. She couldn't even be asked to know that the decision. She couldn't use her psychic powers. Unlike us, Adam. What are we counselors for? What?
Right.
Why? I mean, if we should have known that an answer. I do recall though when someone said, "Are we gonna hear an answer today?" And
And I
as I
said
was
no.
typing no, I was like, "Watch, they're gonna freaking drop an answer today." Because
I said no too. I said, hey, no way.
I was like, "Yeah, no, come on now." Like, I was like debating if I was gonna like type that back, going, "Well, I think I kind of said like, no, we shouldn't hear something back today." Something like that, but believing that little inch that perhaps, so it's kind of like I'm not shocked, but yet I was shocked that we got off the live and then all of a sudden you're like saying it. I was almost expecting if it did come out, it would be like, in a couple of hours if we did hear anything today. But yeah, so
This
I
was
just think
almost
that
a situation. It was like they just looked at each other and were like, "Yep," and then it was done.
yeah. I think it was just pretty obvious.
Well, Travis said that in his experience, once they like schedule the oral argument, that basically they're like 95% decided, and they just want to like clear some things up and ask some questions to figure out the other 5%.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Something else I'm going to think about until we do our live tonight, but with the new charges that came out today,
yeah,
how does that affect the Odinism defense?
Oh,
because they are now alleged, they're now saying that basically Richard Allen committed this crime alone, and that he's responsible for
their murders.
I'm still not convinced that they're actually going to use Odinism.
Well, I'm not either. I'm just curious how it will
that
affect.
would mess it up a little bit.
If it will affect the ability for them to use the Odinism theory, at least in the way that it's been written out so far.
For some reason, I feel like Travis. I remember we had a conversation about them, like adding the charges or something like that with the whole kidnapping thing. I'm still confused. So maybe my brain's small.
I think what he was saying is that in order for him to be charged with felony murder, which is, a murder in the commission of a felony, that you have to charge the felony too. So there should be a kidnapping charge to make it felony murder. But they didn't. Can you hear me still? Can you hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, I got off the little page thing. But in this case, they didn't really do that because they it's like they broke up the felony murder and said, okay, well, we'll just do murder and kidnapping. Throw it all. Charge him with everything.
Yeah, and whatever sticks, sticks. All
That's what it
right.
feels like.
Yeah,
Oh,
kind of. Well,
sorry,
when
I keep
Travis comes
interrupting
on
you.
tonight. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm interrupting you. I'm just going to say this real quick. I did look at the list of witnesses, and we were counting wrong because, like, some of the witnesses were on the next page. They all have 23, and I'm pretty sure they're all the same 23 listed
They
from
are.
the original charging document back in
23?
2022.
I
Yeah.
was 21.
I mean, I could have counted wrong, but either way, they're the same. I'm almost
Yeah.
positive
Same
from the
amount.
original.
Okay. Anyways, I was gonna say, let's get off this live.
Table it.
Uh-huh.
Let's table it for now.
Yeah.
And come back tonight.
And we'll come back tonight. Travis will be on. Ivy Rose should be on. Charmaine, I'm sure, will come on. Criminality comes on. She comes on. Type of thing. And yeah. And then we'll talk about it again now that we have, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll go a bonus feature and have the written opinion. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, we'll see. We'll see. Okay.
Yep, I gotta go get ready for work.
Yeah, you got to go get ready for work. I'm
Yeah,
hungry
yeah.
as crap. I'm gonna call my husband as well too. He's working a little bit late. Oh, it's 2:13. 2:13. Does that mean anything to anyone? 2:13. Anybody? No. Okay, it's 2:13 here in Pacific Standard Time. Abby, Libby, 2:13. Okay. I keep seeing that number lately. Like I keep seeing 2:13 in different things I keep doing, and it's one of those things that I'm like, Abby and Libby, talk to me. Show me exactly what happened to you guys that day. Show me clearly. It's not happening though. I fall asleep before it even happens typically. But anyways, let's get going and we'll see you guys tonight on the live if you wish to join us.
All right.
But anyways, thank you,
Later.
Ivy, again. Hey.
Hi. I said see you guys later.
Yeah, see you. And thank you, Adam, for getting that document so quickly like that. I know.
Yeah.
It's not all in a good day's work, right? Yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, cheese. I love it.
Just ask Baldwin and Rozzi.
Right. I mean, they're probably breaking out the champagne right about now.
Right.
If
Or
not
ballsy.
already. Yeah. But anyways, okay, we'll talk to you guys later. You guys have a good one. Thank you so much. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame, wishing you all a good night.